passing them out to the professors, to faculty that are teaching classes to make sure that students, fill those out. I think that there's multiple ways that you can do it that aren't necessarily being done right now because everything's just being done electronically, and I can see how that can be like a good way to do it, but at the same time, you're not making sure that it's really outreaching to students. As far as like you outreaching to the Big Five, we appreciate that, but at the same time, I think you only provided with like half an hour slot, and I think that we need more time for that. I think like yes, your outreach was great, but at the same time, that outreach should have come in the very beginning of this process that we weren't able to be in. Mitchell went to your forum, and we appreciated being heard. We didn't really receive a follow-up to that. I think personal education goes a long way. Going to like how you are doing with the Big Five, like yes, like it was mentioned, go to other student orgs. I think that there's a bigger population that you're not necessarily going towards that you can do by doing stuff that student orgs do. And we do a lot of labor, and I think that that labor in the end goes to like including more students. And I think like that's just something that you should do. I think we have a lot of faculty here that are maybe willing to provide this information to students and making sure that they fill out the survey if like you're gonna bring this up to students. So I don't know. That's some ideas. I think we're done here. I'm not gonna apologize for this disruption because I think it was very much needed. But I do apologize for the disruption of your time because I know it's very precious. But at the same time, I think it's more consideration that we have to take into how much students are being involved in this process. So, thank you.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Diminished group from where we began. Would people like to have a conversation about the design principles that should emerge as the top picks of this group? Does that seem like a productive way to proceed? Or in our remaining 6 minutes, does it seem like that's not a productive exercise?
I'm curious about the ones that got no votes, if they're being no because of their phrasing or no because of their content. I'm guessing phrasing, but I'm just curious if some of the no voters are willing to speak.
I'm willing to talk about some of the no votes I put up there. Basically, they were too vague and unimplementable. Advanced sustainability means nothing. And so until there's something specific there, I have to say, no, don't put that in as a goal because all that is going to be is full of bullshit. And the same thing with be rooted and care for your communities. Already was brought up. What the hell do you mean by communities? There's 15 different meanings you could have meant there, and if you mix them all together, it means nothing. Model social justice is just way too vague. Model is just the wrong verb. Once you put that in there, it says social justice doesn't mean a thing because we're just going to model it. We're not going to actually do anything about it. So that's, I think, where those negatives came from, is that the wording of the stuff was way too vague and, in some sense, almost negative for the goal that was really intended. The partner with others to share our values, you can see there was a lot of people who objected to that one because it's, all right, we're going to be a closed bubble. We're only going to partner with those people who agree with us. And other people would say, well, wait a second, who are you partnering with? What others are you talking about? It's again, meaningless. And so there were a few people who voted for, well, partnering with diverse partners, that might mean something. So I think a lot of it was starting out with not following what the design principles was claimed to be at the beginning, which was specific actionable things. Those things were neither specific nor actionable. And so they did not meet the goal of being design principles according to what was brought up here, what they supposed to do. That was why I voted for those ones. They just weren't doing what design principles were supposed to do. And that's why social justice and communities and stuff, people try to work it into things that were actionable. Because without that, without something actionable, it's useless.
Can you, I mean, you've seen this before, can you, I mean, I can see maybe a couple that have have a lot of green dots. Like the place, it looks like the reworded place diversity at our core, the reworded piece looks like it
Yeah.
did pretty well.
Preparing a variation on, the language is different here, but preparing students to make a difference in a changing world, placing diversity at our core, and supporting experiential research opportunities,
And then looks like the one at the end.
and healthy organizational cultures for
This one over here, and again, reworded drive research, reworded looks like it's pretty popular. I don't know if it's more popular than the one at the end, but.
I would just add that I think the students' intervention was a vote for the last one. I mean, it was a lot of things, what they were doing, but I think if we were to think about what they were enacting, not with stickers, but with their presence and voices, it felt to me like they were talking about a lot of things, but part of it being culture and organization and process. That's what I was hearing from them. And I'm stirred and disturbed and by that. I'm going to be thinking a lot about that experience with them, and I feel like that I would hope, I don't know, I can't speak for others, but I'm hopeful that that event can be transmitted to the EDC, you know, in a way.
I mean, also, engage or entangled, engage. So, I mean, all of this is science-based participation and engagement, right? I mean, if you study social psychology and positive psychology and engagement consulting, how you've engaged staff and faculty and students it's scientific in terms of buy-in and engagement, right? And so obviously there's a gap in terms of part of that engagement cycle. And it could just be that group and maybe 10 other people, or it could be 15,000 kids, right? So I think what I take back from that is of all the different ways that you're soliciting information to try to drive engagement towards this process, there is a microgroup that needs to be engaged at a different level on that continuum. And that's very much something that Entangled Solutions should be able to advise on, because that's basically, that is what this process is.
I mean, the challenge, quite frankly, is that we engage student groups from day one, and we said, we want to know from you how you want to be engaged. We can do our systems, we can do our polling, we can do our groups, but how can we effectively engage you? And we got lists, and we did it all, and then we redoubled our efforts to reach additional groups. So I absolutely hear the students, and I acknowledge that I failed on that, but I don't know, I mean, we can extend the survey, but that isn't going to address everything we heard here. And I'm really at a loss to know how I make the engagement seem meaningful to the students.
That's what their job is. Right? I'm not trying to point you out as failing to engage them. I think that's why there's organizational consultants for processes like this, is to understand that there's a lot of different audiences that need to be engaged at different levels in different ways in order to get the information you need and also to get the buy-in.
I just wanted to point out that the buy-in problem is a serious one, not just for the students. There are very few faculty who have much confidence in this process. And I mean, I came here specifically because I was very worried about what I'd seen so far going out to the faculty being entirely focused on research and funding. Everything that the faculty have seen so far has been about research and funding. Almost none of these points that involve teaching and students have gone to the faculty. And I was concerned about that. I came here going, if it's going to be more about this thing, I'm going to just shout that the students haven't been included, the teaching hasn't been included in that. So I was very pleased to see that that there were teaching and students involved in the design goals, but these haven't gone out to the faculty. The faculty have only seen it as, gee, this is the administration trying to decide where to put the FTEs for research in the future. And that's what it looked like. That's what the whole planning has looked like, because that's all that's been public so far. And so for the students looking at it going, this hasn't got anything to do with us, I can really see that from that point. They're saying, they're planning all this stuff and they're ignoring us, because their concerns their issues have not been apparent in any of the things coming from your office. And I think that this is a problem in envisioning what a strategic academic plan is. It hasn't come out as, this is an academic plan. This stuff should have come long before what are the research topics we should be doing. And so putting the research topics first basically contaminated the process and made it almost impossible to get the buy-in from people, because you came out forward, front and center, saying, it's the research and the money. Oh, and we're going to look at other things. And that gave people the impression that all this stuff that we did today isn't going to matter at all, because it's all about the research and the money. Because that's what came forward front and center, time after time. All the messages I've gotten this year on it have been about the research and the money. And I came in here, I'm very pleased to see that that's not all that's in here, but I'm worried that all this stuff is just lip service. Because it has been in the past from the administration. And so the buy-in is still missing from all the constituencies, not just the students. And that's because we've got no trust in the administration based on past records from the administration. There's no trust that this process actually does listen to our voices. Because it hasn't in the past. There's been this sort of lip service, put together something that sounds good, and then ignore it. And I know you said that it's not going to happen this time, but that's one voice, and it's not been very convincing voice so far. And that's something I think the students have a really strong point, that you could talk to them all you want, and they're not going to feel listened to. I know you're doing all you can to try and get them to speak, but there's got to be there's an issue of trust